So, as per our previous discussion, in this lecture, we are going to discuss how to solve nodal mesh or any other type of technique in AC type of circuits in AC analysis. So, first of all, if we are going to analyze a mesh analysis circuit, then as we know that during the analysis of mesh circuit, we have to make loops for currents, right? And by using Kirchhoff's voltage law, we have to write the equation of those loops so that we can find out the values of currents, right? Now, what we are going to do, we will first of all have to find out the impedances of the components present in our circuit, right? So first of all we are going to consider R1 and XL1 impedance of inductor 1, and we will name it as Z1. Secondly, our Z2 would be XL2 and R2. Our Z3 would be XC1. Similarly, our Z4 would be R3 and XC2, and Z5 would be R4. First of all, what we have to do, we have to find out the impedances using real and imaginary components, or memoryless, or we may say that a resistor is memoryless element but inductor and capacitor are not. Okay, so first we have to find out the components in series as one impedance point. If you look at Z1, we are having R1 and XL1 in series with each other, right? So we have to make Z1. Similarly, XL2 and R2 are in series with each other. So we make Z2, that is the combination of R2 real and imaginary part. Similarly, Z3 is only having a capacitor. This capacitor XC1 has nothing in series with it. So we are just writing Z3. Similarly, Z4 and Z5. Now again, after finding out these impedances, in this case I am just taking the component names only, not their values, just to demonstrate how we are going to adopt the procedure. So in next case, what we are going to do, we are going to redraw the circuit by using Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4 and Z5, and then labeling I1, I2 and I3 and making the equation as we do previously. All three equations are made. First equation is for I1, second equation for I2, and third equation for I3. These are all Kirchhoff's voltage law equations. Why voltage law equations? Because I2 and impedance, I and impedance is, as per Ohm's law, is the combination of voltage, right? And on the other hand side, if we are having a voltage source E1 as E1 and E2, we have to balance the equation. Now, after making these equations of mesh analysis, we just have to put the values of components given in our circuit and find out the further values as I1, I2 or our required values, right? The procedure is to first make impedances, then draw impedance diagram, and after that solve the circuit. This was the example for mesh analysis. If we have a circuit which can be easily solved using mesh analysis, we have to do that. Now next one is for nodal analysis. In case of nodal analysis, as you guys know that we have to make the nodes. If we see in this circuit, we are going to make these two nodes, V1 and V2. Now again we are doing the same. We have to write Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4. But in this case, luckily we are having one component for each impedance. It doesn't have anything in series. It is a simpler circuit. But in practical circuits, which most probably I am going to give you in exam or maybe in other examples or in exercise questions, you would be having other components in series with each other, or you can also solve the first circuit which was I have demonstrated for mesh analysis. You can also solve it for nodal analysis to make the equation. So in this case, okay, one thing you must keep in mind that as I am writing Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4 instead of R1, XL1, XC, Now you have to write down all these values in polar form, right? R1, what is R1? The value of R1 and its angle. Similarly, the value of R2 and its in Z2 we are having a inductor, the value of XL and angle 90 degrees most probably with it. You have to find out. It has an imaginary part, right? You have to convert it into polar. Similarly, Z3 and Z4. Making nodes as V1 and V2, mentioning the values of currents I1, I2, I3 and I4. After that, we will make the equation for the node 1. So sum of all the currents entering through the node is equal to sum of all the currents leaving to the node. This is the basic equation for nodal analysis. So in our case, all the currents which are leaving our node are considered as positive and they should be equal to 0. So by writing that, we have to, as per looking at the circuit, we have to write the equation I3 plus I2 plus I1 is equal to 0. So what is I3? I3 is V1 node 1 minus node 2 over Z3. Similarly, I2 is V1 over Z2 and I1 is V1 minus E. E was the given input voltage over Z1. This is the equation 1 for node 1. If we know the values of these all components, we can put these values in these equations and find out the value of. Similarly, for node 2, we will add I3 plus I4 plus I. I was the given source current, right? So after writing the equation, we got V2 minus V1 over Z3, that's the equation of I3. V2 over Z4 is the equation of I4, and I itself is given as a source. Now this is the equation for V2. After solving these two equations, we can find out our required components. So what you guys are going to do, you should practice all the examples and exercise questions, few exercise questions for your practice related to mesh, supermesh, nodal, supernodal, ladder, Thevenin and Norton. You have to practice all the examples in your book. Similarly, the questions which are little bit tactfully, which should be little bit tactfully solved in your exercise, or the questions related to your examples, you have to practice them. You must practice at least 2-3 questions of each method, right? For your practice, for your convenience, you can easily solve your paper if you would practice each and every method at least thrice or more than thrice, right? Good luck for your paper. Thank you.